Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. It's Pod in the City with a brand new season of And Just Like That. Season 3, Episode 1, Outlook Good. Carrie deals with having a long-distance relationship with Aiden. Miranda thinks about ghosting a hookup. And Charlotte attempts to redeem Richard Burton.
Hi!
Guys, we're here. We made it to season 3 of And Just Like.
And if you guys missed our exclusive YouTube live every Friday at noon, Mountain Standard Time.
Basically, we decided that And Just Like That is just such a momentous thing, whether it's shitty or good, either way, and that we have a two-parter situation here, y'all. Make sure that you're checking out our lives on Friday. Every Friday, we're doing like a first reaction live stream. Fridays it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You guys know what you're doing. Just if you subscribe and hit the bell, it will just notify you when it's coming up. But if you missed that, you will have already if you saw that, you will know that we liked it. We liked the episode. We liked it.
Well, I liked it better than season 1 and season 2. I didn't like it as much as Amanda, but you guys, we will see. Hold tight. What we do on those Friday lives is just give our initial reactions like, oh, what the hell is the hat? Of course, the hat. Carrie's hat has taken the internet by storm.
That necklace.
Oh, God. Yes, and the necklace. But in here, we're going to do a full recap of the episode. So buckle in, babies. Make sure that you're subscribed. You hit like and leave us a comment too if you feel like it. What did you guys think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you guys like And Just Like That? Are you a loyal Sex in the City fan? That's what I've always kind of wondered with And Just Like That is, are people who are Sex in the City fans watching And Just Like That? Or are there like new people who've never watched Sex in the City and we're like, you know what? I think I'll watch it just like that.
That's too bad if you do, because these are not the same character. These are not the characters. It's not canon, as we always say.
Amanda and I did mention that we think that Miranda's getting closer to who she was.
Classic.
But in a weird, abrupt shift that unfortunately, guys, doesn't involve Che Diaz.
Let's get into some housekeeping really quickly. So we got our Patreon. This week we're doing Vanderpump Rules season 1, episode 2. This is a breakup. This is the first Pride event, and at the end, Stassi and Jax break up for the first time.
Do y'all even understand how crazy that the universe is? Because last June we were celebrating June, and this episode of Vanderpump Rules is Pride for the first week of Pride Month, y'all.
That's amazing. And then we're also doing Smash over there.
Mm-hmm.
Love Smash. And also every Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, we do a weekly roundup. It's also live. We're going to talk about Patti LuPone again. This was last week's, but she keeps making headlines. So this is where we talk about all the new pop culture that happened this week, and we get into Broadway a lot too. And everyone just sits quietly while they let us clean out on Broadway. So check us out every Wednesday.
Boy, oh boy, we are in your ears and eyes many times in the week. Now, though, the times that we arrive for you are they as traumatic as when Aiden arrives, if y'all know what I'm talking about?
It was really quickly. I'm like, you were erect that whole time and like close.
Also, I'm just going to say, upon rewatch, this is not enough lubrication to do anything.
Totally my thought.
Single lick.
That's almost going to dry it out more.
That's just like...
It's going to be chafy now. If it was just dry, it might be a little more like smooth.
I just feel like that's that's like a thing that you do, like if you're having Anyway, guys, we'll get to it. Go to patreon.com/podnicity. That's where we have a bunch of extra episodes every week. You get early ad-free access, possibly to these if we figure out our schedule. And make sure that you're on all of our shit, because we're going to be covering the entire season 3 of And Just Like That, like week by week. And I know that y'all are going to be like just gushing week by week. Baby, you're gonna be pulling a Lily at that ballet concert. Wow, wow, wow.
So cute. Okay, well, let's get into the episode. John's leading it.
I loved, okay, so we start off something that we did talk about in our live, check out a little bit. And these are gonna be a little, just forewarning, friends. It's gonna be a little learning curve here about balancing the live thing and this, because I'm like, okay, well, we kind of talked about this, but in the flashback of last season, they show Naya for half a second. They never talk about her. And then they never show Che. And they never mention Che except for Miranda. Miranda says like she was in a wild relationship. What do you think? Amanda's previous prediction was that Che was going to have a living funeral where they stood in the back of like the church while everyone was there.
I don't think they're going to mention Che at all.
I don't think so either.
Absolutely fine with me, actually. Because if getting rid of Che means that we're getting Miranda back, then so be it.
I think it's fine, but they explored too much of Che's actual character to just kind of be like, this person never existed. Goodbye. Like, I mean, we were deep in what their family trauma, this, that, and the other, and not like I cared about it, but
I think the idea is that it's been a few months, right? What's the timeline here? And Miranda, I think, has now come into her. She's a little more comfortable. She's kind of cracking jokes now, and she's a little more comfortable in her lesbianism.
She has really sat in the lesbianism, because guys, remember previously she's like, oh my god, oh Che, oh.
Well, she was a blithering idiot before.
In the bar that she's at, just keep calling it the lesbian bar. She's like, hi, I'm Miranda. Nice to meet you. It's like
she handled it so well. She was so likable and like self-confident as a gorgeous like partner at a law firm.
So guys, take a look at the wig, because it is not sitting right in that scene. Okay, we start with Carrie. She's writing a postcard to Aiden with just a heart. And it stood out to me. She is wearing an outfit which is very Carrie Bradshaw, very, very, very Carrie Bradshaw. I get it. It is this like see-through,
we saw previews of it because through all our episodes leading up to this, we've been like pulling pictures of production shots from filming. So we've seen this before. It's like hideous and heinous in a way that like still kind of works, where it's like, all right, we'll carry over.
To me, it's very fashionable. I get it. It's this like pink thing that has silk flowers with the stems like embedded into it in the outfit. Now we are led to believe that Carrie's sitting in her apartment, just lounging in a thing with silk flowers with the stems on next to your thigh. That's not making sense.
That's the most unbelievable part of this whole show, I think, is how Carrie hangs out in her apartment. The fact that she's always in a bra, layers, makeup, earrings.
Later, when she's in bed in a top with a like full silk button-up thing all the way up here, and she's in 15 layers under the bed, I was like, holy hell, I would be sweating my ass off.
Anyway, I remember particularly in the first movie, which is one of the best movie experiences we both saw it together at midnight, and it was one of the best movie experiences, maybe the best movie experience of my life. Transcendent. There's that scene where her and Big are sitting in bed together, and he's all like tan and shit, and he's shirtless, but she is wearing a long pearl necklace, and the idea is that they're like about to fall asleep, and it is outrageous.
There are some strange fashion choices even in this episode where I was like, Huh?
I think Carrie's never experienced a sensory issue in her life. Like she's fine with materials touching her.
Never.
Heavy jewelry. Fine.
No way could I wear this thing with these silk flowers with the stems. It was the stems that were driving me. It's like full length stems. Those are metal. Those are like what, against your leg, and you're writing a letter. Well, guys, though, the letter was only a single heart because Carrie and let's be reminded here, Carrie and Aiden have decided. Strap in.
Aiden has decided.
Unfortunately, though, someone did mention in a comment that, Carrie continues to like be used by Aiden in every way. She sold her apartment because Aiden couldn't step foot inside the door. So she moves into this like New Orleans mansion that's plopped in the middle of.
I think the most annoying part about that is that Aiden is still he's still low-key, even if he doesn't really know he's doing it, he's still reminding her over and over of how much she hurt him in their past relationship.
Yes.
And it wasn't even in the most recent relationship that she hurt him that bad. She cheated on him in the first relationship.
And that was 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
I think that they're not a good relationship, and I am fingers crossed that by like episode 4, we're done. I'm done with Aiden. I'm done. I don't need
I think he's in the whole season though, babe. I saw an article about Carrie's brownstone and what it would cost. And actually it only
$10 million.
No, it was like $5 million. I was like, oh, I can afford a brownstone.
We do know that Carrie has $5 million.
I mean, with inflation, it's not that far out of reach. I would assume it would be like 20 million based on her, wealth.
Oh, her old one.
No, this one she's living in now is only 5 million for a
I don't like it. And they allude that she has no furniture and she's constantly running around we'll get to it. Carrie wrote the postcard. It's the outfit, fine. She sets her alarm for her home. Remember, guys, there's an alarm on her place.
They really want her to do some physical comedy here, which it's coming across more as, oh no, my apartment's so big. I'm so rich with all the space.
Okay. They start playing Hot to Go, y'all. They got that money. They got that background music money, honey. And they are at the bar. This is a great beginning set. Actually, this is a perfect beginning to a new season.
Yes.
Carrie and Charlotte and Miranda are out at what appears to be I'll say a queer bar. How about that, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
And I feel like I'm shouting.
No, you're not. But this is right where I started settling in, like, I think this might actually be okay.
I would agree. And if they stuck to this part, if they stuck a little more to this. Anyway, okay. Well, I feel like okay.
I know there's so much to talk about.
So there's this, they see this young lesbian who's like, they do mention that she is having mocktails. So that is like a good indication from what had happened before.
Right. It's very easy to quit drinking after it's the first time. Super easy. Always works.
Well, you have a backpack full of bottles.
And then next day, you're fine. No withdrawal. Nothing. You're fine. Your body doesn't go through it.
We're being sarcastic if you guys couldn't tell. Go back and watch our recaps of the other season. They were so long ago that I actually don't remember what I said. So remind me, maybe we said something controversial. Let us know in the comments.
Probably.
So this young girl's like, and then they're like, ooh, go over there, get that puss. And Miranda's like, she's really young. And they're like, and she's waving at you. She wants you, mama, or whatever. Then the girls are like, we're going, bye. And then Miranda looks really cool. Her outfit, I really like. The hair, great. The wig is too far forward. I'm just gonna say that. Go back and watch it, y'all. You'll agree with me. She looks great because she's in this green not
Grecian? Is it kind of Grecian?
It has legs. So it's like it's not a pantsuit because it has no arms, but it's like a
it's a romper.
Yeah, like a romper with pants.
Yeah.
Anyway, she looks really good. She goes over to this girl and she's like, hey, I'm Miranda. Remember last season? I'm Miranda. Hey, I'm Miranda. And the girl's like, oh my God, Miranda, remember me? I was Brady's babysitter. And she's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I mean, this is a fact of life. I mean, it is a little bit different because Miranda's what, 60 and this girl has to be 23.
I had my little cousin, like my cousin's daughter, come over to watch the dogs while I went to Sweeney Todd this last week. And we were like talking back and forth, and we were talking about all the different dogs she's had in her life. She's like, yeah, I had these 2 dachshunds. And I was like, oh yeah, I think I met them when I was going over to Mike's house to I was like, I held a baby. And she's like, yeah, that was me. I was like, oh. She's like 14. I was like, holy shit. I held this girl in my arms. So that's basically the same as this Miranda and this baby.
Well, it's like us watching Lily be a baby, and then now she wants to. I mean, she had sex last season. Now, for some reason, they've decided that the best way to begin this idea that Ravi doesn't give a shit about Seema is for her to light a cigarette while she's waiting in bed, have it burn her up her mattress, and light her hair on fire. I guess that's the best way to get the point across, right? Or
I don't really. I said this in our live on Friday, but I think that the writers went on a writer's retreat and figured out okay, we got some. Oh, and I did look it up. There are new writers. There's a bunch of new writers for this season.
Okay.
Not much more information about it, but they did hire a slew of new writers. So that makes sense. I wonder if some new writers come in and they're like, we can fix this. You just need to let us cook. Get rid of Ravi.
Well, I agree. I think getting rid of Ravi was the right choice because I don't want her tied down. I want her to be like, really, Seema needs to be our Samantha, okay? I'm gonna need to boost up the Samantha-ness in Seema, and I don't care if it feels like she's copying Samantha. I do not care at this point. Have her go, hook up with like a 25-year-old model or something. Yeah. Come on, give us some fun. She's hot and she's fabulous and she is rich as hell. She is wearing, all right, okay, in order here. So what happens basically, friends, if you haven't watched, is she's laying in bed about to take a FaceTime. It pops up that it's his assistant. She's like, fuck this. She lights a cigarette and then cut to fire department at her house. And they're like, everything's fine, ma'am. And she's like, have you seen my hair? Which then leads to her cutting part of her hair off.
And I guess it's kind of a joke that they're leaning into, but they don't lean in far enough where it's like even a recurring joke. We're supposed to understand that now she's pissed at Ravi because she blames him for her hair burning up because she was waiting up for him. I don't really think it's his fault. He is working on a movie.
They also cut her hair off and it doesn't look any different than it did.
No, I wouldn't have noticed either.
So we did like it here, friends, but we are nitpicky. If you're new here, welcome. Please leave us a 5-star review. Only a 5-star review. We do spirals, so at least I do. Ravi's assistant was kind of cute, though. I will say that. Back to Miranda, and guess who it is? Rosie, baby.
Now we talked about this too on Friday, but we were under the assumption that Rosie was going to come in here and be some kind of comedic relief, and it would be like zany and Rosie. But it was so good, and there was so much heart, and it was so real. And
it really was.
You knew who this person was, and she was just so sweet. Like her facial expression, this whole conversation back and forth was like electric to me.
Rosie thinks that Miranda's a teacher because she has really good grammar. We find out that Rosie's there for the World Conference for the Compassion of the Unhoused. And Miranda has this a side comment that's like, oh yeah, my colleague is covering that, which I was like, huh? Because I guess she works for the UN?
Well, she worked, no, she does. She doesn't work for the UN. I think she met the person at the UN because she was doing that interview. But she works for a human rights. She's a human rights lawyer. So I think she was just saying somebody in my company is covering that.
Rosie goes on to tell that Miranda is so beautiful, etc. Love her.
Her line, she goes, "You are so pretty." The way she says it is just so real and nice. And
well, also there is like a little bit where like this girl walks by first before Rosie comes up and is like, "Oh my god," she's on the phone and she's like, "Oh my god, there's all the weirdos here," or like all the normies here, randos. So then she says, "Oh, Miranda, you're so beautiful," and Miranda's like, "For a rando," and she's like, "No, you're just so."
No, she goes, "For a person."
Honestly, Rosie's scene at the end, I cried rewatching it the second time.
I did too. I cried during this scene. I'm also very hormonal, but I did look on IMDb and she's only listed as one episode for this season. So she's
I figured. But I liked it. Cut to LTW in bed with George Washington. Again, if you guys are new, George Washington, as I have come to find out, everybody, no, what I've come to find out here is that people are not as abreast to or
the funniest part of that live.
To musical theater as I just assume everyone knows.
I told you our bubble is much smaller than you think it is, because John was like, I think it's insane that Miranda wouldn't know that one stanza of For Good. And he's like, let us know in the comments if you guys don't know. And for days now, ever since we do it, people are emailing, commenting, I don't know that. I don't know Wicked.
When we get to that part, I will ask again. Please comment. Do you know? So
by the way, Miranda went back to Rosie's hotel. You missed that. Rosie said, I have a hotel.
It's not there yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because we have to find out. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I think that all happens there. She just says, I have a hotel.
You're right. I just started writing, Rosie's great. I love her so much. That was my note. I could have finished that. She's like, will you come back to my hotel room? And Miranda's like, sure. And Rosie's like, okay. I thought that was cute. Cut to LTW in bed with George Washington. Now, here was my preface. George Washington is the guy who plays LTW's husband, Herbert. I will only henceforth reference him as George Washington because, guys, there is a musical that's a play with songs, and it's called Hamilton. It's based on the life of Alexander Hamilton, and it's written by this musical person named Lin-Manuel Miranda. One of the characters in that is George Washington, and this man, his name's Christopher something. Jackson played George Washington in that. Please remember that for
you can watch it on Disney Plus. You actually,
can.
The Pro Shot, and it's.
I watched it the other day, and I was.
Maybe I'll watch it. Yeah, I'm also
guys. For reference, when I say George Washington, that's why. All right. Cut to LTW in bed with George Washington. She's got to get up to go to work on her series at 4:15 a.m. I think that I'm hoping, I really like her. Okay. I wrote, I love her. I hope they do more with her character this season, like in a fun way. I would love to see like a little more lightness to her character.
I feel like maybe we will. I mean, hopefully we will actually go deeper into this documentary she's making, and maybe we can actually learn about some of these women. And I think it was Heather McDonald I saw made a good point that they seem to be gearing up for a Michelle Obama cameo in the show. So that's good. I'm not going to give Heather McDonald any credit because that's of course what's going. I never even thought of it. That's where I first heard.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't put it together. Okay. But obviously, yes, it's obvious.
Basically, we learned that she's doing this series of unsung Black women. Okay. That's the establishment here because it started with her series that she did, and she's now pitching it to PBS.
Unsung Black women.
Cut to Miranda waking up in Rosie's hotel room bed. Rosie's like, you're so amazing. I've never experienced anything like that. And I thought Amanda mentioned to me that she thinks that Rosie should win an Emmy, and I would agree. I actually think she was great. Or at least nomination.
She's not being funny. She's not trying to be funny or silly. She's
so earnest.
She's not playing it as pathetic either. That's what I really noticed about the scene, even on the first watches. I'm like, they're not making it like she's like, oh God, how was I? She was just like, Yeah, okay, that was great. And Miranda's like, hi, good morning. It was just a chill, and she's not ashamed of herself.
The last scene with her, the one that made me cry, has a moment, like a really poignant piece to it that I'll save for that.
Okay.
That I really liked about that character and how she explained it. So we find out here, guys, guess what? She's a virgin, and she's not just a virgin, she's a nun.
Yeah, she's a man and woman virgin.
I'll say, for two people who did some predicting of like what was going to happen and how she was going to end up, I don't think we once thought she was going to be a nun. That's
No.
for sure. We
By
predicted
the way,
a mentor or like a relative of Miranda's.
we thought relative, that Miranda was like dragged along tourist trap.
Uh-huh.
I did comment on her TikTok the other day, or today, on Rosie's. I wrote, obsessed with you. And I think she was she had posted something about Audra McDonald, in support of Audra McDonald, and all the comments were talking about that, and then I was just like, I'm obsessed with you.
I've been obsessed with Rosie since I was, I think, 7.
Since the Rosie O'Donnell show, since the Flintstones. Well,
speaking of a Broadway lover, anyway, okay. All right. Cut to the most annoying storyline of this episode, which is all about Charlotte's dog, Richard Burton, being wrongfully mistaken for another dog by this crazed woman who we find out in the end can't see what dog it is without her glasses. But there was a strange moment that made no sense. Okay, I'm just going to truncate that entire storyline right now.
Let's
there's a weird moment.
Yeah.
Charlotte goes to this doggy daycare and she's like, hello, oh my God, I just lost my dog person. Now, I did really like this scene. This gives me like improv-y type scene because the guy's, all he says is, oh no. And he just says
you said that on the live and I hadn't noticed that. And then on the rewatch, I was like, oh yeah. And it is, I feel like that's a stressful, like a bunch of lines to be able to make those actually like interesting. I'm sure the
he was so good.
He was good. I was impressed.
I thought, because she's like comes in and she's like, oh my God, my dog. I lost my dog walker, and he's like, oh no. And then he's like, he looks over the thing and he's like, oh no. And then she's like, do you what? Blah blah blah. And then he lifts up this thing to show the dog that was attacked, and he's like, oh no. And they just like it's really, really good. So I commend that scene, but I still hated this storyline.
It's
because wrap up of the storyline, which then does not make sense. Because again, this oh no guy looks at Richard Burton. By looking at Richard Burton, he can tell that this is the dog that attacked this other little dog. Right. And yet later, the story is that Richard Burton does not even look like this other dog.
Not at all. And this guy works at a dog daycare. He would completely be able to differentiate between.
It doesn't make any sense.
What I want to talk about, first of all, my thing with Charlotte. Let's just finish Charlotte now, and we don't need to talk about her anymore. But Charlotte, what is the story here? Like, she doesn't go to the ballet thing because now she needs to. I'm like, have you never left? You don't leave your dog alone? Like, are you that bad?
She didn't go to the ballet thing.
They said she like when they're at the fountain after Anthony sings with underscore, that girl. Lily says,
"Oh, at the top of his range too." He was.
Oh, it was.
I was like,
Lily says, "Mom's not coming. She had to find a new dog walker." Like they've never left the dog alone, which to me screams bad dog parents. Like, this dog is not house trained, probably destroy their entire house. But at the end, when they're standing there like talking to the woman, and then the other. This is like a recurring thing for me, but I always notice like animal actors on TV, and this was like one of the worst acting performances by an animal I've ever seen. Because the idea is that this dog is supposed to run up and be attacking, and like it just seems like there's a better way they could have done this, because the dog is so very clearly not aggressive, no body language, no attacking. It's like clearly happy. Nobody's really reacting as if they're being attacked. It was very messy.
This woman acts as though her dog was like nearly murdered by this other dog, and the other dog just kind of jumps up in the people, and that's it.
And the little dog that she's holding in her hand is like,
doesn't give a shit, basically.
Doesn't like
just like as much as I didn't give a shit about that storyline. I was like, okay, cool, I guess. It
was badly produced. I think I'm just more unimpressed with the production of it.
Everyone else had somewhat interesting storylines, and then Charlotte gets that her dog has a mistaken identity. I mean, really. Feel like we could do better than that. All right, back home at Charlotte's apartment. She's complaining and ranting to the family and all of that. And here's where Rock says, Mom, believe women. And I have to say, maybe I'm being extra woke here, but isn't that almost like dismissive of that? Like, Rock is saying, believe women about this person, this frantic, crazed woman in the dog park. But really, when you're talking about the phrase believe women, you're on mute. Is that you will...
Or is the woke movement is now coming back around on itself?
No, that's not what... No, I'm just saying that to say believe women, like... It just feels like it's reductive of what that should mean, as opposed to Rock saying it to her mom about saying that there's no way that Richard... And again, there is no fucking way that Richard Burton attacked that. This scene, we've wasted enough time on this storyline.
Yeah, honestly, seriously, that Charlotte's storyline deserves no more. No more.
Rock is becoming annoying. I do love Lily, and I love Lily's outfit. She is wearing this like cut shirt that's like all patched and really cool. All right, we find out that Lily is really into this boy in this ballet class at school, which is very apparent that it's a class because it's not very good ballet, and it is like there's 5 people in the audience for the performance.
Yeah, and again, can we just make a disclaimer? And we'll probably make it on every episode for the rest of our lives. But hey guys, don't let your kids date theater guys.
Oh,
don't do it.
God.
Don't do it.
Now, maybe a ballet dancer's a little different, but
I don't know. There's no way. They're way hotter. They're even hotter.
I just feel like they're probably very disciplined in a way that would like not be fun.
Right, so they're probably brooding, and
but they do have amazing asses.
This guy was hot. This guy was hot as
he was hot. I mean, I'm starting though to get to this point where I'm feeling like a creepy old man when I think like a 20-year-old is, because how old do you think this guy is? I mean, how old is Lily? 20?
Well, they have to be 18 because they're in college.
She's in college, isn't she?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
illegal.
But still, I'm like, okay, great. We're cutting to Seema and Carrie in the park with the hat, which I did predict that Carrie was that Sarah Jessica Parker herself had pined over this hat and whatever based on watching the documentary. And guess what, y'all? She did. There's an interview.
I had said that I thought that maybe they're in on the joke, and John's like, no, I think that Sarah Jessica Parker probably really loved the hat. And then I sent John a TikTok of her being interviewed about the hat, and she's like, yeah, we really broken down Michael Patrick to just really trust. He just kind of just goes with it now.
Her reasoning for wearing this hat, oh my God, the cover. This hat, which we did preview in the lead up. Her reasoning is that she believes the dress she's wearing with this looks like this old time, oh my God, this old time thing that we used to.
You might be too young to remember, guys.
I'm only saying this because this is literally how she acted. She's like, there used to be this ice cream called Neapolitan ice cream. It would be strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, and it used to come, you'd buy it in the container and you just scoop it out. And
the comments are so brutal. They're like, when was the last time you went to a grocery store? It's like, tell us.
That's Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm sure that they don't have a lot of Neapolitan in the no sugar, no whatever kind of ice cream that you're buying at some bougie store. That is what it is.
You're out of touch without telling us you're out of touch. Because Neapolitan, like even in like when you go to like No Frills here, which was like the discount kind of grocery store, and they have just like the no name brand ice cream, that it'll be chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and Neapolitan.
Exactly.
It might be one of the most common.
I'm thinking she went to Air One or whatever, some bougie store. She doesn't go anywhere that has this old timey ice cream called Neapolitan.
She sounded like such an asshole.
But that's why she decided to wear this butt-ass ugly hat that doesn't match the outfit and makes her look like she's escaped from a beekeeping place or something. something is going on here with, if I saw this woman walking in the park, not for 1 second would I think she looks chic or effortless. Now, you know who does look chic as hell in this scene? Seema. She looks amazing. She is wearing this like camel colored like halter top thing, high-waisted pants, the belt was like this metal that was like floating around, like floating slightly off her waist. She looked incredible to where
Snatched.
How does she show up with Carrie and she's like in the scene, she's like, oh yeah, I wish I had met that young Carrie or something, this effortlessly cool version or whatever the
hat. Look, if you're gonna wear a hat like that, I think it needs to be addressed by one of the other characters in the scene. I need to know that somebody is at least calling, like, what's up with the hat?
There's not any of that. There's not enough of that in this show at all.
No.
Enough like you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, one of the friends could be like, girl, it's too far. A step too far.
I don't want to be perceived right now. Can you not wear the hat?
Now, Seema's talking about how she needs more from Robbie. Yay.
I think it's Ravi with a V.
Ravi.
Oh, I thought you said Robbie.
Oh, I keep saying Ravi.
Oh, okay.
Ravi. Maybe I'm just like mush mouthing.
I
will say, not to Jones Moans for a second, there is a local influencer who makes TikTok videos. Guys, I do have a TikTok. It's called Open That Doll. That makes TikToks that's like, you know, going to different restaurants. And I swear, they do not enunciate when they speak at all. It's like, hi, I can't even, I literally can't even do it because I think my natural voice is just so like, except when I said Ravi, I guess it sounds like Ravi.
The Phoenix accent is like, for me to come from Canada to then immediately then conform to a Phoenix accent was a real, like,
people probably don't think we have an accent, but there is.
I feel like the accent in Phoenix is very like Valley Girl. Like it was such an enormous shift between like just a kind of a Canadian accent and then to like be like, talk like this now. I talk like Sheena.
Speaking of, guys, check out our Vanderpump episode because Sheena like so innocently rubs suntan lotion on Jackson's back. Like, it's not like she's not a home-wrecking whore. How does Stassi speak like that? How does she do the crispy R's? I can't do it. She's like, she's a home-wrecking whore. How? Anyway, great. Okay, then we go to LTW's pitching at PBS, killing it, fabulous. This room of women, it looks amazing. Like, this looks fabulous. But, y'all, she is wearing this necklace that looks like bowl filler.
I have these exact balls in my basement. Like, I could just take a string and, like, because it's like, they're made of, like, straw almost, these balls. So
yeah, they're like rattan balls that you could take a piece of string and go through them and wear them. There's like 6 of them lining her neck. Where
I was thinking about making one, but I'm like, I think that still would be a little bit it could read as a little racist.
You know, it's giving Iris Apfel. If you guys, anyone know who Iris Apfel is, who you probably don't because you guys don't know who. I'm not reading you. Oh my God, I don't mean to read the audience. Sorry.
You don't know what Neapolitan ice cream is, surely.
That's too old time.
Yeah.
The necklace, while I enjoy it as a statement piece, it's interesting. I have to just think like, what are the logistics here? Like, where is this being stored?
Oh, this person. Okay, yeah.
The Iris Apfel is this like style icon who would wear just huge bangles, layers and layers and layers of necklaces and stuff, which I get. I can see the cross award. What the fuck am I trying to say? But I am still forever believing that whoever is clothing this, whoever's doing all of it, it's either they hate Ari Nicole Parker or I have floated the idea that they just want her to not look prettier than than everyone else.
I really think it must be that. Like they need to like take attention away from how stunning she is.
I forgot to mention when they are first accosted by the dog woman.
Oh yeah, but Charlotte looks crazy there too.
One of the outfits that we discussed in a previous episode because it was leaked. It is the most shapeless, ugly ass thing I have. It is so butt ass ugly. And you are telling me that this woman, again, I think this is one of the most stunning women ever, is in that? Why?
The rich people are weird because I have like twice a year I'll work for my mom's, what's it called? A consignment store, but it's like a rich people consignment store. And they had like a big thing a couple weeks ago. And the clothes these women were buying, I was like, this is just another world.
I get it, but I think maybe it's maybe my disconnect here. I'm gonna just try and go deeper, is that they have not shown LTW to be like, what do I want to say, like eccentric or like fashion driven, or I guess I don't know. If she was a little kookier or something, maybe I'd think it looked, maybe I'm on the wrong track.
She might just be so rich that like, this is just what she, like, it's just not even a thing. This is just the clothes. She goes to the richest stores and this is what's in those stores. So she buys them. Also, did you notice when they're cooking later and she's still wearing the fucking necklace? Again, no sensory issues with all these women. She
also has a nearly skin tight, like white, partially white knitted dress thing on where
she's cooking in this. That's crazy. But did you know, like, I saw another thing, TikTok, saying like how this is very rich people porn. I noticed both times when she's cooking and it shows like them opening cabinets. It's like these like like a DeLorean cabinet.
My note literally was like, they are in that LTW and George Washington have the most gorgeous, aesthetically pleasing kitchen that genuinely looks like a cooking show the way it's set up. To where I don't want to sound too
opening
critical.
And closing those cupboards was like ASMR because it was like a.
You know, this place cost $20 million. The kitchen alone cost $100,000. The bowls that they had just to like put the scraps of shit in were like hand carved wooden bowls. I mean, they're fabulous. So I guess the necklace makes sense. I just want to see this woman like. And this is maybe me being sorry if I am being a cog in the wheel of the patriarchy here, y'all, because I don't mean to be, especially in Pride Month. I want to be a supporter, an ally of all women. So if LTW wants to wear this necklace, she should, but I still won't stop saying that like she's too pretty for what they're giving.
By the way, in this meeting, we find out that they want her to take out one of the 10 women and put in Michelle Obama. And she's like, well, it's supposed to be unsung women, and Michelle Obama is very sung. In fact, probably the most sung. And they're like, no, you need Michelle Obama because she's on contract with HBO to appear on.
It kind of makes sense. Like, this is definitely how television works, is like, they're like, cool, we'll give you all these episodes to like show your vision, but like we got to get Michelle Obama because that's going to bring us, like, people to watch, Though I think what she's doing is important, obviously. She has to step out in the hallway because, guys, George Washington's storyline is that he's not cool enough to be running to be comptroller.
She has a funny line though, because she's like, honey, you're running for comptroller. That's the least cool thing you could possibly be doing.
Well, and then later, though Amanda was wet, I was dry as a bone. And I was like, this is so uncool.
I mean, it was really like lame.
I
mean, they would do this on Will and Grace too, and like find a reason for Megan Mullally to. Whenever there's like a singer in a cast, they always find a reason to get them to sing. And I actually don't kind of mind it, and I really didn't mind it here because his voice sounds so good that I was like, I'll sit here and listen to this. And they do acknowledge that it's kind of they don't acknowledge that it's lame, because once he starts kind of riffing, everyone in the audience kind of goes wild.
Though Chauncey, his guy, doesn't like it. He's like, oh my god, this is so uncool. And she's like,
so
I cannot deal with any of this right now.
And do you think what's his name, James Englehart?
Was that him?
Yeah. So he must be a series regulars, right? What's his name?
James Monroe Englehart.
James Monroe Englehart. He must be, but I feel like he appears in a lot because he's in a lot of episodes of Kimmy Schmidt too.
Huh.
Do you want me to look if he's going? If that's him?
Sure. I'll keep going though.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
Mary's alarm keeps going off. It's a bit. This whole episode, her alarm goes off, and the back door. The weirdest thing about this home is that she has a huge home, but she has a tiny kitchen with a very skinny fridge, like this bougie looking skinny fridge. And what are you going to say? Because I am incensed. Because if y'all remember, what was it, season 1? Carrie got a hip replacement.
Thank you. I was incredible.
Because she then, in this scene, slips and falls on the floor. No pain, no percussion.
She like laughs at herself. She falls on her hip where you had surgery. If I fell on my ankle, I think I would just burst into flame and die.
And then she calls Miranda. She's like, Miranda, I've fallen and I can't get up.
I was incensed. Also, her kitchen is weird, right? Doesn't her kitchen look really weird and small?
It's very weird for a house like this. It looks like
in
a type of house like this, it looks like the like servants' quarters or
whatever. That's exactly what it looks like.
Or like a butler's kitchen or something. Like,
what is that? I mean, I know Carrie's not really like a kitchen person, but still,
the place wouldn't have been built like that because they are making it look as though this is a 10,000 square foot home. Carrie is going level to level, like room to room, empty rooms too, guys. I'm not understanding. Is she waiting the 5 years for Aiden? She moved here for Aiden, has to wait the 5 years to buy the furniture? Or what?
There's something else. The thing that makes Carrie the worst in this whole episode is at one point later on, when she's about to go to bed, she puts the cat outside of the room and closes the door. And she goes, "See you in the morning." What the fuck's the point of owning a cat?
I didn't even pick up on that, but I can tell you right now, there's no way any cat I've ever known would stay outside of a bedroom door.
No, it's a pop, 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 under the door. Pop, 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 pop. As far as I know, if anyone that owns a cat, you just don't know what it's like to sleep with your door closed. It's just not a reality for you.
I've never had that happen because it wouldn't. Butch will like stand out, like if I go outside, she'll stand at the door and meow. Like, girl, you're good.
I had 4 cats and a dog in my bed last night. I slept like a fucking baby.
I would hate that. Okay. I definitely thought okay. We find out, Carrie's like, oh yeah, you fucked a nun. You deflowered the Virgin Mary.
Miranda's being funny through this. Someone's writing for Miranda and they've given her like Miranda lines because she's not being a bitch, but she's being very much like we are, where it's like, oh, what do I do? She's like got the Tavern on the Green and like she's doing all this stuff. I'm like, I feel bad because she's really nice, but like, what am I supposed to do with this? So like, it was at least Miranda being a normal human being.
I also like that she didn't just be like, ew, you're a gross piece of shit, which she had done in somewhere. I can't remember what.
Oh, she also had an interesting line reading, and I don't know if you picked up on this, or maybe I just wanted to read it this way. But when they're in bed, she goes, "I'm a virgin," and then Miranda goes, "You're a virgin," and then they kind of go back and forth. But then Miranda reestablishes to herself, "You're a virgin," and to me, I wanted to take it as Rosie was really good in bed, and Miranda was like commenting on like, "You're a virgin," like. Because she reads.
I think it's more just that, like, if I met a woman who had all gray hair and they said they were a virgin, I would be surprised too.
Oh, well, I wanted to think that it's because Rosie rocked her.
Well, erase what I just said. You live with that. Okay. All right. We do cut to Miranda. Okay, out of that, because we find out that, yes, Mary is continuing to go to all these places and talk to Miranda, and she doesn't know what to do. We go back to
picture she sends Miranda made me laugh out loud. Because it's just Rosie giving her kind of, you know how she smiles, her mouth doesn't really go up. So it's just her and it's just her standing in front of some tourist attraction, just like, and it's just funny. Like, I just think that Rosie was very funny taking that picture.
I really liked how she was like very pulled back in this. How about that?
Yes, she wasn't trying to be funny.
We go back to LTW's house. They're in the kitchen. Her daughter's making pork dumplings, and there's this doll on the counter that comes into play later. Ugh, It's this doll that like this ancient vintage doll that her daughter has on the counter while they're making dumplings, and she tells the daughter to put it on.
Girl doll, right?
No, it's like a Civil War era doll.
Oh,
and she's like, put it on the bench over there. That's important, guys. Remember, the doll will be on the bench. Okay, basically George Washington's like, yeah, I support you for sticking up for yourself, for not wanting to put Michelle Obama. Then the oldest son comes in and he's like, hey, Mom. And, you know, when they presented him, I'm like, we're going to now have to go through something about him having sex with someone because he's like a full grown man at this point. And, you know, he's like, I want to have pizza. And she's like, you're going to have what I make. And he's like, I hate Chinese food. And then the dad takes his hat. George Washington puts on the hat and is like, am I cool now?
They're getting their footing, I feel like.
I agree.
They're getting it.
For as much as I'm poking, this single episode is probably better than any of the other episodes before it.
Because you felt like you were in Sex and the City world, at least. You're in the world of it again.
Yes, I do think that they could. I'm hoping the Carrie storyline goes. I'm hoping they've released some of these women to be like, I want to see Carrie getting her dick down. Shit. There's previews of her with hot ass dudes.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to happen with Carrie and Aiden.
I don't want her with Aiden.
Yeah, I think that this is just, and I would be really icked out by like him calling me after 3 years and just like being that disgusting. Because it's just, this isn't you. It's just jarring that this man you've known for this long is now like this weird person that you've like never met before. Certainly we haven't as an audience. We have never known them to be like this. So
I think the weirdest part is that Carrie is like 60. When you're 60, no way in hell are you going to give 5 more years to then be with someone. Maybe when you're 20, maybe you're dumb enough, but like when you're 60, you start to
this is the love of her life, right?
No, he's not. Big was. Except this show has rewritten the thing of saying that he was indeed, that he was a piece of shit. They
didn't really rewrite that. It was all on the table from the first episode that
they need to figure out Carrie's shit.
Yes.
And I also hope they give Charlotte a little more than just having to be a side character to her daughters.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're just going to make every storyline about Lily and Rock and not about Charlotte. What about her? They did preview, though, in the previous season about her getting the job at the gallery. So, like, I'm sure that'll be...
It shows her crying at one point, so obviously...
Okay, so they cut to they're in... Where is that? Lincoln Center? No.
Yeah.
Lincoln Center. And Giuseppe's wearing a butt ugly outfit with loose pants so he doesn't show his big dick, and he's wearing these like weird loafers. Anthony sings the That Girl's theme song in a really high, like in a key that he shouldn't be singing it in. They play a underscore, and there is one moment that Rock was minorly funny. They're like happy to see Carrie and everything, and they're like, okay, let's go inside. And then Anthony's like, no hug for your gunkle. And Rock just turns over and is like, no, and just keeps walking.
Yeah, I thought that was good because that actually probably is their dynamic because they're kind of joshing him a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I don't believe that would be the relationship though, but they try and act as this episode tries to make the audience think that Anthony is being, because, okay, they go to the quick, I'm going to do a little shortened recap here. They go to this thing. Lily's thirsting for the guy. Anthony cannot resist expressing his feelings to Carrie about the 5-year thing.
Thank you, though, because
like friends do.
They need to be constantly saying that to her.
Like friends do.
Yeah.
So Carrie, though, the show leads us to believe that Anthony is like saying the most offensive shit alive. Giuseppe's like, you need to watch you need to think before you speak. To the point that later in the episode, he has to give Carrie like a full-blown apology for this, that, and the other. And it's like, Carrie does say, well, other people are thinking it, but you're the one who said it. So then you shouldn't have a problem, girl.
Right.
You should expect if I went to my friends today and was like, I met this man, I'm gonna wait 5 years for him to deal with the shit with this, my friends would be like, you're insane. What? No, and I would be like, thank you for bringing me
Carrie
back.
is that girl. Like, and I always see TikToks about this too, because TikTok seems to really think that I need to break up with my boyfriend, even though I'm pretty chronically single at the moment. But it keeps reminding me, like, why you should leave your husband. But one of the things is like that it's like when your friend comes back to you and tells you they got back together with that guy that everyone hates. Like, that's Carrie, and you have to be like, great, that's so
that's
great.
why I think ultimately I probably wouldn't have lasted as long in friendship with her.
Yeah.
As some of the other women, because Carrie is that type that it just, do you ever learn? Do you ever learn? Even the last line of the episode is implying that, like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah. By the way, I want to say really quickly, Lily, her facial acting is really, really good when she's in the audience watching this boy. She does a lot of really fun stuff with her face.
She's very into it.
Mm-hmm.
They have the ballet performance. I've never seen a ballet performance like this where one random guy has like the lead solo dancing and everyone else.
Any ballet performance ever in my life. I never would.
You've never been to the ballet?
No, that sounds
so hot right now. I've been to the ballet multiple times myself.
Ugh, that sounds so boring.
It's kind of fun. I like it.
When we went to Italy on like this tour of this fucking show we were doing, we went to La Traviata, and then me and Brad left after act 2. There's 3 acts, and then everyone was mad. Brad made Amanda leave, and I'm like, I wanted to leave more than fucking he did. It was like a whole controversy for the
I would rather see a ballet over an opera.
Well, there's dicks flying around in ballet, at least.
Exactly. Fat asses and big bulges.
Yeah, right.
Baby.
All right, I'm with you there.
All right. So then we go to Charlotte. She's trying to go get her dog into the doggy daycare with the guy I love. Great. Sure, yeah. We're done with that. Again, I don't know. Back to the performance. Lily is like loving this guy. There's lots of empty seats. Anthony's giving Carrie the riot act, and he's like, you know what? Carrie's like, you know what I love about the ballet? No words. It's like, oh, girl, get over yourself.
Yeah, like, this is crazy what you're doing. This is crazy what he's asking you to do.
Giuseppe tells Anthony to think before he speaks. Carrie's then walking through her apartment or her new home with Shu, the cat. Shu is so cute.
Of course.
Then she like has this very Carrie moment, just like walking. Oh, there's just a magic 8-ball that just is like so precariously placed in this home that has barely any furniture in it.
Yeah, but I'll bring
the magic 8-ball. Outlook good. Everything's great. Problem solved. Magic 8-ball said outlook good. And I guess we're supposed to believe that's about Aiden. All right. Cut to y'all. You might want to fast forward through this part because it's gross. It's nighttime. Carrie's laying in bed in a million layers. I'd be sweating my ass off. Bring. Aiden's drunk in his truck and horny. He's had 3 whole beers and he's frisky.
3 beers. Okay, bitch. I mean, I'm a raging alcoholic, but like, I think that even any normal grown adult, big, large man.
I was going to say he's like 6'3", right? Or 6'4".
Yeah.
3 beers, unless you never drink ever.
At
then
least
you
a 6-pack. Throw it. But even then, I feel like a lot of people can take down a 6-pack and feel barely buzzed.
I mean, if I had 3 beers,
you'd be buzzed
a little bit. I would not be so horny that I'm like, yeah, let me jack off. Like that would no.
Touch me the way I touch you. Be me for me.
Ew. Whoa, he's parked in a field. He doesn't allow to have beer in his house anymore because Wyatt drinks it. I guess Wyatt, we are led to believe that this son Wyatt is, I don't know,
hanging by a
wild animal. Like he's literally not housebroken or something. I don't understand. Later, Aiden is sleeping in bed with Wyatt,
that's a crazy boundary.
17-year-old or something.
He's like, he had a bad night. What the fuck? This kid needs more than just you being there, I think, Aiden.
What was he like, stabbing someone? Like, I don't know. What kind of bad night constitutes you needing to be like, let's go to bed, sweet. Let's go to bed, honey. Let's go to bed together. Huh?
Again, let me just say, both of us, you can listen to our pillow talks on Patreon. We're not, neither of us are prudes. Like, phone sex, and even this was mild phone sex. Like, none of this was dirty.
This wasn't
G-rated
to me
phone
even
sex, really.
phone sex. This was not phone sex.
This was like
This
nothing.
was like nothing.
But was seeing these two do this, it was just like, we don't want this. The audience didn't need to see this.
I actually think Carrie was okay in the first phone sex. That her in the second phone sex, I'll get to it. I didn't like. The first one, fine, because there was actually a really relatable moment, because he's like, yeah, touch yourself right now. If I was there, I'd be touch you the way you like, and blah blah blah.
It's just really hands-free. This is the way I have phone sex, by the way.
Shu creeps up and is like staring at her, which, if you haven't pet of any kind, that is like a very
Walter's
relatable
on
moment.
the bed whenever, like, that's what's gonna happen. You can't lock them out of the room because it's worse that way.
And he won't like stay on the floor in his dog bed or something.
No, he'll just stick up in the bed and he's just there. He like goes to the corner and he like turns away. But no, if we lock him out of the room, he barks the whole time. So it's like,
here was my number one problem with Aiden, and I'm sure no one's gonna pick up on it. I don't know if he was trying to look sexy. I don't know if he was trying to look like he's gooning. What the fuck is going on? But the whole time he's talking with his like, he's like this. He's like, Carrie. It's like you can only see his bottom teeth, like in this like. He looks like an old man, like he's missing his top teeth. There is something.
Something's going on.
Like that guy in that Jim Carrey would play on In Living Color with the like the no lips.
Oh, Officer something.
Yes.
Fireman
Bill. Fire Marshal Bill. Marshal Bill. That's what it was giving, because he's like, yeah, Carrie, yeah, touch yourself the way that I like. And I'm like, ew, you're giving Crypt Keeper or something.
You know, would you agree though? All the awkwardness aside, I will, after the second viewing, I was like, I think that Sarah Jessica Parker and John Corbett both did a really great acting job here. As uncomfortable and cringy as it was, they both did a great job.
I think she did. I don't think
he definitely did. But I mean, I guess he has to just lean into it. They must know how awful this is going to be for the audience to have to watch.
Though the logistics here made no sense. As we mentioned before, he licks his hand like this.
From like here up. He doesn't even get palm. It's like
not even like, I wouldn't even say first knuckle on your finger. It's like he licks the tip of his fingers and then is gonna start jacking off.
How you wipe off a smudge from your table.
I mean, if you're doing that in sex, like now I could see how much you could go like this and then put it on the thing you're about to put your dick in. But that's just a little gesture. That's not actually doing anything. That's just like a
no, he's doing this to like lather it up for a full
that we're led to believe that is him lubing his dick up.
Yeah.
With like he's licking a stamp. Anyway, moving on. He wants the horn. He thinks he might shit his pants.
Do you always lube up? Because I feel like I've watched a lot of guys give themselves dry ass handsies.
I think it depends on how tight your like skin is on your dick.
Oh, all right.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Carrie's lost the mood, you know, but he's back. He licks his hand. He's not gross. All right. Shu's staring. He comes
immediately. Well, no, he accidentally honks the horn.
I said that.
And then he goes, oh my God, I almost shit myself. Then he's like, yeah, we got it back. And he's like, let's get it back. And then he immediately comes again. I'm like, there's no way your jizz was like stayed up there. Like during that whole thing.
Especially if you're so drunk after your 3 beers.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Oh my God, the 3 beers.
All right. Mary keeps sending Miranda pictures from Mary. Oh, she's like, Mary's at the Central Park carousel. Ravi is getting this bed installed, okay? Or they're putting in this bed at the house. And
They're putting in a new mattress because the other one burned.
I think I was so disgusted at that cigarette in bed storyline that I couldn't even like see past it to like put the pieces together. This bed, though, I'm pretty sure is like a $20,000 mattress. Like it has this certain plaid on the outside. It's like the kind of bed that like, you know, famous people have, rich people, I guess. Things that we'll never see. Anyway, Ravi comes in. He's like, oh, I only see you at the bed. And she's like, the guy's in the background. He's like, one of the workers like, this is like a movie or some shit. And he's like, oh, I see you cut your hair, darling. And this is important.
Because she's going to get mad.
Important. Because she references it later saying, you didn't even realize that my hair was shorter because I almost died in bed waiting for your FaceTime. Talk about dramatic, girl. I mean, like, and I believe women, trust me, but let's be real here.
Yeah, and can we kind of wrap up her storyline really quickly here? Can we just truncate it? Okay.
The end that happens with hers is that he's like, darling, I've made us reservations at, can't remember.
Jean-Georges? Was it Jean-Georges?
Yes, Jean-Georges for lunch. And she's like, oh, okay, darling. And then, mind you, he wakes her up in the morning at 6 a.m., full neckerchief tied. Like, it's like, girl, how long have you been awake? And again, so she's gonna go to lunch. She's like, I've got to stop and see a scouting location. Yeah. And she's like, okay. They end up rolling up. It's a minivan to take them. She's in I don't like the outfit she's wearing, but you can tell that it cost a lot of money and was very intricate. Shove her in the minivan. They end up going to 3 different places. The final one is perfect.
It's very cinematic the way they shot that last place. It was really amazingly cinematic.
And he does, I won't say this is smart, but I see what they were going for. He's like, this is the perfect place for 2 epic people to finally realize that they can't be together and they must he's, you know what I mean.
And she's like, I guess art imitates life. You don't even remember about my hair. Goodbye, Robbie.
And he's like, but I love you, Seema. And she's like, and scene, or like cut film or whatever. And
sure. Yeah, and bye. Yeah. Great.
I can't wait to see what they do with her. How about that?
Carrie, when she's talking to the girls at the bar now, she says, me and Aiden she says, I've never faked an orgasm.
I wrote that. I fucking wrote that. And this is a time when Miranda's like, what happens is she's like, oh yeah, I've had to fake it on phone sex. And Miranda's like, I've faked it in real sex. And she's like, well, I've never faked it.
To me, that means that she's actually really bad in bed. So what, she just literally waits until the guy actually makes her come? Like, that's like mean. Like, just fake it.
You're we're led to believe that semi-prudish sex columnist Carrie Bradshaw is so on edge of coming all the time that like a guy can fuck her for 5 minutes and she comes. Because you cannot tell me that she is getting that full. Now, I'm not a woman, but from what I've perceived from women, it takes a little bit more to get the engine going and the juices flowing. So I don't think that, there's storylines of her having bad sex with men. So you're telling me you've never? I believe that. I'm gonna say that was a slip up of like they weren't thinking it through when she says that, because like really
there must be faking storylines, but whatever.
Okay.
Oh, and then by the way, she needs to be honest with Aiden. No, you don't. You don't need to go and tell him that now. Just like she didn't need to tell him she cheated on him with Big. You don't need to go to him now and be like, I was faking it. I wasn't actually into that when you jerked off.
This is then when we get the 25-minute a cappella performance by George Washington and his groupie buddies.
Oh, that's what I just looked up. That wasn't him.
That's what I thought, because when you said on the live that it was James Monroe Englehart, I was like, okay. And then when I did the rewatch today, and I was like, I don't think that's it.
It looks like him, though, right?
It does, because they have very similar facial hair.
Okay. He's nominated for
great facial hair. Yeah. All right. They do this long number. Anthony apologizes to Carrie for whatever reason. He does say a poignant line that made me almost kind of sad. He says, "Please don't cut me out. It took me so long to get in."
Yeah, she's a bitch.
She's like, "I'm okay now. I'm whatever. It doesn't matter. Who cares?"
It'll be fine. It'll look good.
She's like, "You're not the only one who has opinions about us. You're the only one who says it out loud."
Now, can we actually really quickly talk about Carrie and Aiden? Because I would be pissed at, like, don't you think this needs to be addressed? Like, you created this boundary for us where we're on no contact, and then you just call me, expect me to get like soaking wet, and like we're gonna masturbate together over the phone. Like, that's like really mean to do. And I'm over here just
I don't think so. I think the whole thing is stupid and messy from the start. And I think if you shit, I'm gonna try and make some analogy, make one up off on the spot here. If you shit, you can't expect it not to smell bad. Like,
yeah,
Carrie, you've kind of put yourself in a place like you're fine with the 5-year thing. Even before that, you moved out of your old apartment because he couldn't go into it. Like, girl, how whipped are you? The dick from this man cannot be that
that's
good.
because he is low-key always reminding her and guilting her for him. I don't think she even needs to feel guilty for the second time they broke up. That was him. That was all him.
Well, again, that was 20 years ago at this point, and if you're still hung up on that, we can't move our relationship forward. If you are still,
do I need to apologize to you for this?
At this point, I think that if someone cheats on you and then you reconnect 15, 20 years later, you have to, and guys, listen to other shit, because I have railed against people cheating. I don't understand the concept. I 1,000% believe you should just break up if you're gonna want to cheat. But if it's been 15 years, people change. I'm not gonna expect that this person is still gonna cheat on me.
You got a clean slate a little bit.
Or I just wouldn't be with them.
Right.
If I am that damaged that I am so afraid this person's going to cheat on me and I'm so triggered by them cheating, I wouldn't go back with them. So that's why I need their storyline to wrap it up. I'm over it. Though we do see that he's at the funeral that is yet to come. Aiden is at the funeral in an ugly outfit again. All right, let me finish here. LTW finds out that Chauncey worked at the White House at this thing. Oh, there's her connection to Michelle Obama. Because again, in this PBS thing, I guess they're expecting LTW to be able to pull Michelle Obama for her thing.
Yeah, they're not going to help her out with that. They're just like, can you just go ahead and get Michelle Obama, please?
Mary just got out of Wicked and wants Miranda to come meet her in Times Square. She just left the M&M store. Carrie, how many times in one episode do we need to watch Carrie eat ice cream with a little spoon and poke it around to like,
with like a tasting spoon. It's like a tasting spoon from Baskin Robbins.
She does it in the park, and then they do it at this restaurant that is allegedly serving little cups of ice cream or maybe pudding or something that are on trays. They've now picked one up and she's eating it, but she is way too apparent in her like acting eating, because she like scoops it up, takes way too long, scoops again, fiddles with the bite to where she then ends up taking like the tiniest little bite and then it cuts immediately. It's like, why not just put whatever food you're able to eat in that cup and take a few bites of your lunch?
Have a salad in front of you.
Girl, I mean, or like have like a Greek yogurt in the bowl. But that's probably something that Sarah Jessica Parker has never heard of, along with Neapolitan ice cream. Those things are so old school.
Retro.
Who eats yogurt? All right. Miranda meets Mary in Times Square, has this really cute scene. Rosie's like, Wicked live, New York City, and this is the best week of my entire life. That's so sweet. And she's like, do you want to spend the night, to Miranda? And then for some reason, they decide they're going to have directed that this giant King Kong thing is going to hit Miranda at that moment. Why? I'm not sure. Okay. And then Miranda's like, hey, here's the thing. I don't want you to leave God for me. Like, please. And Mary's like, I'm married to God, which is, I guess, what it means to be a nun. She's like, then this is the moment I really like. She's like, I always knew that this person was inside of me.
Yeah.
And finally, I finally got to meet her because of you. And that's when I even have chills right now. Because that is special. And even in this like little moment that Miranda's thinking, like, oh my God, this woman's everything. Just having that moment is giving her like that next step in her life. And what a perfect piece for Pride Month as well, because she's like learning who she is.
And she's also not making it like pathetic, like, oh, now I want to date you.
No.
Like, that was never even on the table.
It was like, I'm so grateful that because I got this, like, I actually got to live out this piece that I hadn't gotten.
Yeah.
That I have been changed for good. Guys, she sings for good. And much to my chagrin, no one knows what that is, because Miranda's like, or Rosie's like, that's from Wicked. And Miranda's like, I figured. And that's what pissed me off originally, because I'm like, there's no way she figures. She knew that. But I guess, let us know in the comments immediately. Do you know for good?
Right from here, it cuts to Carrie putting the kitten out for the night.
This is when we should cancel the show.
Yeah.
Completely. Who puts a cat out in the hallway? You are an evil, evil woman. This, though, is when I'm not liking Carrie getting ready for the phone sex, because she does multiple repositionings in which you can tell she's getting her fingers in herself. She's like laying on her side.
Yeah.
No, right? Like she's like laying on her side, like getting ready to like actually call him. And you can see her like rearranging herself, like, and then she sits there for a second, and then she like does it. She's like,
yeah, she's like opening the flap.
She's like getting the fingers like red. She's like, just like, and I'm like, God, not in Pride Month, girl. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so then she calls Aiden, and she's like, yeah, I'm ready to do this now. And he's like, sorry, I'm in bed with Wyatt, my 20-year-old son. It zooms out, and they are both the same height. And he's like, he had a really rough night.
Yeah, can you expand on that? What does that mean? And can you he's fully asleep, by the way, this kid.
I only believe they did this because they would have it would have made more sense if he was in bed with his ex-wife or something. Because what other reason would he not want to do it? There has to be a reason why he's like, can't do it. Because he was the one who wanted it so bad. So they were like, well, he can't be with his ex-wife because that doesn't make any sense. So he has to be sleeping in bed with his son, who I guess is so out of control that the only way to calm him is to sleep with him.
Yeah, we better get to meet Wyatt, and he better charm the pants off of me.
I think we do, because doesn't Carrie go there?
Yeah, I guess she does. So I guess these boundaries are really kind of all up in the air.
I'm hoping that happens next episode, and they wrap it up real fast.
Yeah,
because that's what they did with Seema and Ravi. They wrapped up their entire storyline this episode. Do it with Carrie and Aiden. We hate it. We don't want it anymore. Thank you and good night. All right, then guess what? The alarm in her kitchen goes off, and she's like, it's fine. It's not open. I'm fully expecting it to be open at this point, because why else are we having it continually go off? But it does something to her. It does. It ignites something in her. And she goes back for the first time in weeks and opens up that laptop. And she writes, get prepared for utter poignance. The woman wondered what she had gotten herself into.
Don't you think that, because I know that she is now writing her very first fiction book, so it's going to be in third person instead of first, but shouldn't it be the woman couldn't help but wonder? I understand that they're changing it.
They're not smart enough to do that. They're not smart enough for that.
No, the woman wondered. Just go all the way with it.
And you needed to get out of your bed across your palatial mansion that we're led to believe is 50 million square feet so that you can open your laptop to write, "The woman wondered what she had gotten herself into." We know what you got yourself into. Some bullshit, girl. Get out of it.
That's where she feels the most comfortable, I think. She loves the chaos.
We made it to the end of the first episode. And if you've made it to an hour, and it just hit an hour and 20 minutes, baby, on our side. Now, it might be a little shorter on your side because we do edit at the very beginning. Please leave a comment, say you're hour 20 crew, that you're in for the long mother effing haul, and that you're ready as we are for And Just Like That season 3, because I am literally buzzing. The live, go back and watch the live, because I genuinely think I was vibrating out of my seat. I love it.
Yeah, love it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check out our Patreon. You'll get early ad-free access to this episode. And you'll also get, this week we're doing Vanderpump Rules. We also do Smash. What's the other one we do? Girls, which John loves. And we do Pillow Talk every 4th week, where we just talk about sex.
And it is June Jones. So make sure you're checking it out. This is a great month to join, because what you should be doing is supporting gay people in Pride Month. Don't do rainbow capitalism. Come over here. Support me as a gay. We love you guys so much.
With his background.
We love you guys so much. And we hope to see you next week, and on Wednesday, and on Friday, and every other day. We hope that you're in your dreams. Bye.
Bye.